Congratulations, Kidada and Michael. We're so excited. What's the countdown, Kidada?
7 months.
So,
and yep, that's it.
207, 206. So super excited. So let's go on a journey. And this journey began about 19 years ago.
Yep.
And we want you guys to tell us about your very first encounter with each other.
Mike, you want to tell that story or you want me to tell it?
You can tell it.
So me and Mike went to the same church, but we never really just crossed paths like that growing up. But we met officially at a gas station. On M's gas station. And he was like, hey, can I, we chopped it up a little bit, and then he was like, can I get your number? And I was like, sure. So I gave him my number, and it kind of went from there. We just kind of remained friends, on and off, communicating through emails, texts, and things of that nature because he was in the military. But we remained friends all that time.
All right. So really, since you were in church together, small hometown, and you two never even thought about it. So, all right, you get the phone number. So, who was interested first?
I probably was.
Okay, yes, he was. All right, that would be Michael. And Michael, Kidada mentioned that you were in the military. Congratulations. Thank you for serving our country.
Thank you.
You're a retired seaman. What's the correct terminology?
Chief Aviation Ordnance Chief.
Oh, excuse me. Retired Navy. You were traveling, you've been all over the world. How'd you two keep in touch and get this story started?
I used to write letters or email her. Then when I come home, I take out to eat or something, go to the movies. She cussed me out. See, I went. So just kept going from there.
You must have liked it.
So clearly you liked it, so I can totally understand. Yeah, it was an interest. It just made things even better. So when did things really get serious? What happened? What made everything transpire?
Mike called me December 5th of, I can't remember the year. Was it 3 years ago?
Yeah.
About 3 years ago, on December the 5th. I remember it was snowing in Gaffney that day. So we talked a long time because we couldn't go in. I was stuck, couldn't go anywhere. So we talked, and he talked about his previous relationship and how bad it was, and I talked about how bad mine was. And we just kind of just laughed about that and then caught up. And then we were just like, well, we want to maybe try to give this a try, like go a step further. So it kind of went from there. Just that one conversation, basically.
And plus, she didn't know I was moving back to Gaffney, so I had a plan. So.
Okay, Kidada, so you clearly got a man with a plan and a man who writes letters. So, I mean, how do you say no to that? So we've got letters, we've got plans, we've got long conversations during a snowstorm. When did you decide you really wanted to be Mrs. Tate?
So he planned to come down. He got an invitation from his brother, Donnie, who is the best man, for a 40th birthday party. So he told me he was coming into town, and he asked me would I go to the party with him. So we were talking from that December. So the party was in February. Yeah, end of February. So we went to the party together. We actually stayed overnight in Spartanburg at the Marriott, and it was at that point I knew. I was like, it's different this time. Like, it was special, and I was just like, okay.
Oh my gosh, you guys have like the most amazing love story. You've talked through a snowstorm. This man has written letters. Who even writes letters these days? I love that. But I also heard that you guys kind of have like a little Bonnie and Clyde thing going on. So why don't you tell us about the time that Michael almost got you locked up at the Virginia airport?
Okay, so I was invited to go to the khaki ball, the military khaki ball. I went up that weekend and we went to the khaki ball, had a really good time. And then the next day we went out with one of his friends and his wife to dinner. And when we got to the restaurant door, it said no weapons. So Mike always has a weapon. So he takes the weapon off And he says, hey, throw this in your purse. So I was just like, all right, threw it in my purse. Went in, had dinner, good time. Back to the house. Sunday rolls around. We watched football, didn't go anywhere, just kind of relaxed. So, you know, I'm not needing my purse for anything. So the time rolls around that evening for me to get ready to go to the airport to catch my flight back home. So he dropped me off at the airport. We say our goodbyes. I go in just, you know, cheerful and happy. So I get to security and run my bags through, you know, like normal. And then when my bag goes under the radar check, everybody's eyes are like, oh my God. So I'm just like, what's going on? You know? So they start mashing buttons, getting on walkie-talkies and everything. And I'm just like, what is really going on now? So they come over to me and they was like, hey ma'am, is this your bag? And I was like, yeah, that's my bag. You know, and they were like, well, do you have a weapon? And I was like, no, I don't have a weapon. And I'm laughing like, are you serious? I don't have a weapon. Going through the airport. And so they were like, by that time the police arrived and they were like, can you come into this room? So apparently they have a little room over in the airport that's for a police station, I learned. So I get in there and they're like, ma'am, you have a weapon in this purse and it's loaded. And I'm like, oh my God, it immediately hits me. And I'm like, Mike's gun from last night at the restaurant. Oh my God. I told him, I said, listen, that's not my gun. That is well, he wasn't my fiance at the time, but I was just like, that's my friend's gun. That's not my gun. I promise. I can call him. He just dropped me off. I tried to explain to them about the dinner and the no weapons, and he threw it in my purse, and they were just like, ma'am, ma'am. And I was like, well, I can call him on the phone right now. He will tell you that this is his gun or whatever. So they let me call him or whatever. And I was like, am I going to make my flight? You know, and they were like, you might. You know, they were real nasty. So anyway, they wrote me a ticket. And this one guy that was really nice, he said, you know, it happens all the time. So they let me go. They confiscated the gun, of course. And they told me they'd see me in court.
But I had the best lawyer in Virginia. I got my gun back. Yes,
yeah. Immediately I called him. We talked about it. He's like, I'll get you an attorney. We'll get it taken care of. I was like, you better. I ain't losing my job. So, yeah, we got that all straightened out.
Did you make your flight?
Yes.
What type of gun was it?
380. My pocket gun.
And it was loaded?
Absolutely.
It was hot. Yeah.
So, I mean, you guys have, I love your love story, and it's amazing. And again, I'm so excited you're sharing this with your friends, with your family. But if I'm not mistaken, you guys have some symbolism to the colors you've chosen for your wedding palette. Care to share those with everyone?
Well, I chose the ivory. Me and my mom talked about it, and she's just always talked about having a ivory or all white wedding would be so beautiful and so classy. So I definitely leaned a lot towards ivory. I'm not really a white type of person. I don't really like the color white. But ivory is just classical to me. Then I talked to Mike about it, and he kind of threw in his color, and I let him tell you about that.
So pink is for my godmother because she had breast cancer, Eleanor Littlejohn. And my best man, that's his mom. So my mom and his mom were thick as thieves. So my brother's born March 9th. I'm born September 9th. They best friends, wouldn't go nowhere without each other. And when my mom was sick, she took care of me. So I always rock pink for her. I got a tattoo on my arm, so I'm a pink guy. For my other mom, we ride.
Are there any other symbolic meanings in your wedding that you want to tell us about? I know the pink, that is such a huge piece, and I think that is so warm and so loving of you guys to do that, and I truly understand that. Anything else you want to tell us? Anything you want to say to your family or friends as the future Mr. and Mrs. Michael Tate?
We want to thank everybody for coming in support of us. It's been a really long journey for those that know the journey. But we want you guys to celebrate with us, have a good time, put your hair down, and let's celebrate.
Well, this is her special day. I'm just here to party.